After 17 years of being a full-time magician, this is my first time on stage in 18 months. So thank you for having me.
With 17 years experience, I consider myself a road warrior. But after a year and a half of sitting at home, losing my grandmother, becoming a dad, I had to wonder, is that still who I am?
This is a big, scary 2 days for me. I've done lots and lots and lots of virtual magic shows, but that was a completely different show that I invented from the ground up just for virtual. And then I did 2 in-person events last month, but they were masked and social distanced, and I was wearing a mask at for one of them while I was on stage, and I couldn't have volunteers or interact, and so that didn't really count.
It's a nice day, it's warm, it's a little humid. So we got a slight hiccup. Every other time I've ever been here to do this gig, the theater has been totally empty for me at least an hour before I go on, which is what you need as a magician to make sure that all your props get, I gotta set up props, and it's not real magic, right? I gotta set everything up. This year, they are running workshops for the students leading right up until the moment that I'm supposed to start the show. Obviously that doesn't work, so we are coordinating right now how I'm going to be able to load in all my stuff off stage, stage left, set it all up. At the time I'm supposed to go on, they're actually gonna close the front curtains. I will quickly bring my stuff on stage while I'm hidden by the front curtains.
Please welcome to Malloy, Brian Miller.
Maybe we should just start with only one. It'd be a little bit simpler with only one. That'll be a real simple thing. Big black X on every single card except for one. Lynn, the only card you thought of, the 7 of spades. In my living room, they're sitting on folding chairs, eating triangle sandwiches, popping chips. Oh, by the way, time out. I'm from Buffalo, New York originally, and I've been saying pop all my life. I've been made fun of all my life for saying pop, basically everywhere else in the world. So quick round of applause if you say pop instead of soda. Pop. Who says pop?
My grandpa.
Well, that was quite a night. We weren't able to sound check, as I had mentioned, because of the scheduling. Basically 10 minutes before the show, they closed the front curtains. I brought everything out. We made sure the mic was working, but we couldn't actually do a proper sound check. Immediately within 1 minute of being on stage, starting the show, the mic was having weird pops and crackles.
And give me a big thumbs up to start this thing. Woo! I didn't do that.
And because we hadn't done sound check, I wasn't able to coordinate with the stage crew to have alternatives and backup plans and things that you would normally do. I've been using a headset mic since like 2012. The only option they had available for me as a backup plan was a handheld mic on a stand.
I'm not sure what's going on, but thank you very much. A round of applause. I am going to need somebody.
Which as a magician is almost impossible unless you've designed your entire show knowing you're using a handheld mic, because I use both my hands for everything as a magician. I had to roll with it, and it was fine. The show was clunky to begin with because I haven't done it in 18 months. Oh, my rhythm was a little off. The bits were a little clunky. My gears were turning. The timing wasn't perfect because I got to get back into it. But giving myself grace on that, I was very happy with the show itself. Adding on top of that, the fact that I was using a handheld mic. So the fire alarm just went off at the hotel. I've never had that happen to me before in all the years. Dokie, back at the college for day 2. We are going to do a sound check super early to try to figure out why this microphone wasn't working right yesterday. What's going on? All right. Whoa.
Hello.
Hello. Which makes me nervous to use it again tonight, because if we can't recreate the problem now, I'm worried that it's just going to happen during the show. Okay, you know what? Let's just start off with one. It's hot. It's the end of the day. We'll just start off with one. That's not part of the show. That is just something else that's happening. At least you looked a little nervous when I did that. A couple of years ago, pre-COVID, I took this out on stage, and the kid just goes. I was like, I'm leaving. It's okay, people get nervous when the lights are on, there's an audience, I talk a million miles an hour, my eyebrows freak people out. I get it. Listen, they're taking over my face, they won, they do whatever they want, we're gonna move on. I joked about my eyebrows once in a theater of over 2,000 people, the back row was laughing, I cried myself to sleep that night. I have $1, 2, 3, 4, $500. This time I got rid of not one, not two, but $300. Waved my finger, snapped, and I still had $1, 2. Waved my fingers, snapped, and I still had $1, 2. Waved my fingers, tapped twice, and snapped, and I still had $1, 2, 3, 4, $500. All the money disappeared. My friends jumped up, pumped their fists in the air, and yelled. Molloy College, have an absolutely awesome year. Thank you so much for being here with me tonight. This has been a pleasure. Have a great evening. Thank you.
That was night and day. I was happy with my performance yesterday, but I had to shake off the rust. Last night I thought really hard about the show and what had been clunky and what I could improve and how would I handle a handheld mic if I needed to, which I ended up needing to again. That was such a better show just on one day to the next. You know, I spent a lot of time last night going over the routines, looking at the footage I implemented today, and it was great. Apparently some of their students were walking out saying, man, that guy was so funny, he should be a comedian. Of course, that's how I got my start, doing comedy clubs. Using the handheld microphone for the last 2 days, which I haven't done, as I've said, for so long, that just brought so much of that that kind of training back out of me. So it was great. I gotta finish packing up and get on the road. I'll see you in a few. I'm literally melting. Literally. You're not gonna be able to hear me over the air conditioning, but that's just something that's gonna have to happen now. Overall, this was a very successful trip. I got the hang of being back on the road. I got to do a bunch of new pieces in the show. Everything from here on out for this fall should be smooth sailing.